All right, y'all, let's figure out the real reason why fast food is panicking over high prices.
There's been a lot of talk online and in the news about how much fast food prices have gone up over the recent years.
It ain't even fast food. I remember like maybe a couple years ago, I used to be able to get a Coca-Cola, like little canned drink across the street from this corner store, 50 cents for one, $1 for two. Now it's $2 and some change.
It's home to the dollar menu. Prices at the Golden Arches leaving a bad taste in the mouth of consumers who just want value.
Some restaurants are continuing with price hikes, while others are getting desperate with attempts to offer more deals in hopes of increasing traffic.
Yeah, they need to offer more deals, way more deals. I need the dollar menu back. I need every restaurant needs a dollar menu. That was the real golden era.
Restaurants don't cut prices for fun. Did consumers essentially force your hand by being fed up?
Yeah.
Customers are telling us that they're really stretched.
Now, we all know inflation has been rampant since the beginning of 2020 when the pandemic happened.
Grocery prices, in some cases, are falling. Yep. Fast food prices are rising, and these CEOs, they know it. They're hearing these complaints.
But what's really going on here? I mean, are fast food companies trying to pull a fast one on us, price gouging under the cover of inflation?
Fast food places in general, y'all better watch your goddamn ass.
Is this just plain old corporate greed like many have claimed?
Who told y'all was that good to be charging that much for y'all food?
Or is there more to this story?
I remember we used to be able to go to McDonald's and everything would be like, you can get a decent meal for like $10. I went to the McDonald's the other day. We got 2 meals and it was like $20 something. Hey, is it everything go up that much for real?
Fast food used to mean inexpensive. Going viral, the Big Mac meal priced at $18 at a Connecticut rest stop.
Whoa!
Well, in this video, I'm going to try to get to the bottom. Wikipedia defines price gouging as a pejorative term used to refer to the practice of increasing the prices of goods, services, or commodities to a level much higher than is considered reasonable or fair by some. This commonly applies to the price increases of basic necessities after natural disasters. Usually this event occurs after a demand or supply shock, like, say, a global pandemic. Harvard Business School says there's no rule for what qualifies as price gouging, but it's not an uncommon occurrence.
So you just make up the rules as you go? You just be like, all right, this is now price gouging? Since there's no true definition of it? Wait, what?
For example, EpiPen costs and Uber price surges are both examples of price increases that have been considered unfair. But what's the difference between price gouging and inflation? While price gouging is often the result of a business decision, inflation is a general increase in the prices of goods and services over time and is directly impacted by the market.
Can the government price gouge the citizens by artificially inflating the supply of dollars that we have, causing everything to be more expensive and for them to get more money with taxes?
And while 40 states across the country have laws in place to ban price gouging, there is currently no federal price gouging prohibition. And this makes it a difficult thing to enforce because so many supply chains are nationwide. And as a result, states face heightened challenges when trying to protect consumers from price gouging. So in my opinion, price gouging is a rather nebulous concept. It often lacks clear-cut depictions, and it's not only a practical question, but also a moral one. However, with this fast food dilemma, it's not just about high prices here. It's also about prices that seem disconnected from costs and the actual products themselves. So whether specific fast food companies have engaged in price gouging is up for debate. What certainly isn't is how much prices have increased over the years.
I feel like right now there's been a combination of both. Like there has been inflation, but I think with inflation, there are times where companies just say, hey, everything else is going up, might as well just raise everything up even though we don't need to. And they think now, I feel like no one's going to notice, but we're all noticing. We're all posting. We're all tweeting. We're all doing all that now. We're like, hey, are you guys seeing this? Is your bill higher now? Are you spending a little bit more cash?
And the real question then becomes, is it justified? Finance Buzz released a staggering report on fast food prices over the last decade, and it showed some very interesting stats. claiming McDonald's is king when it comes to price hikes over the years,
Oh,
citing a
you will
100%
say.
increase to their prices from 2014 to 2024. Now, to understand,
They know they can increase that price on McDonald's and that we're going to keep on going back. They know that they can keep raising the price up. They know they can get rid of the dollar menu. They can get rid of the all-day breakfast. They can do it. And then we will not leave them. We're hooked. They have us all locked in. McDonald's is international. They know what they're doing.
how we got here, let's just rewind for a second. Fast food in its early days was built on two core promises: speed and affordability.
Yep.
Now, with its initial success, it really started to become a symbol of American culture. What the food may have lacked in quality, it ultimately made up with cheaper prices and the convenience of getting it quickly.
That dollar
However,
menu,
today,
boy.
the same can't be said.
I used to go after school. I'd get a big double and a McChicken and a fry and a drink. It's like $5, under $5, all $1. Everything tasted good. They weren't little fries. They weren't skimping out on any of the meal. Nowadays, you get like a 2 for. They have like the double, like the two item meal that you can get. No longer, it's just not the same, man. It's not the same.
It's not breaking news, but fast food is rarely fast anymore, and it's becoming
slow.
pretty expensive.
They got 3 windows in McDonald's now. 3 windows. 3 windows. What do you mean my food's not ready? I'm used to getting food right. I order it, pay for it, boom, locked in, they done. Now now it's either nobody, they don't have enough employees, which I understand, or people are just chilling. Or they're just making everything to order. I don't know.
For what the quality is. Now, over the last 2 decades, rising costs have hit the industry hard. Real estate prices, minimum wage increases, and supply chain inefficiencies started driving up costs. Add to that the increase in costs of beef, chicken, potatoes, along with paper products, and suddenly the simple cheap burger wasn't so cheap to make anymore. These changes laid the groundwork for the price hikes that we're seeing today, but they only tell part of the story. What's happening now feels different, like something has fundamentally shifted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you put her on, please?
Dude, this is a Wendy's restaurant.
Damn it, Kevin. Okay.
But I have to keep it real. It's not just the rise in costs that are part of doing business. It's also factors like increases to advertising spend, ballooning executive compensation packages,
when they started doing those partnerships, they figured that was an infinite money glitch. They figured it out. They started to figure out how to make all the money right there. Like Travis Scott one, Cardi B one, they're gonna keep on going. They're gonna keep on going, and I don't blame them.
Along with
McDonald's got that good money. Hold on, let me run it back. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you put her on,
These
please?
partnerships were the move.
This is a Wendy's restaurant.
That was where it was at.
Damn it, Kevin. Okay.
But I have to keep it real. It's not just the rise in costs that are part of doing business. It's also factors like increases to advertising spend, ballooning executive compensation packages, along with significant investments into technology, like mobile apps for these companies.
The mobile apps are pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie. I like using either the pre-order, you just go to the drive-thru and get your food because it's already, paid for. But you don't know if they're making it fresh or if it's been sitting there for a minute. But I also like you can park outside and you can, the curbside, there we go. The curbside's pretty nice. Pretty convenient as well, especially if you don't really want to go in because it's like busy or you're just trying to chill. But I really like the one through the drive-thru. You just go ahead and get it. without having to worry. I think they have delivery too, but they're just using DoorDash. That's all they're really doing.
Oh, and of course, stock buybacks, returning billions of dollars to shareholders. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at some of the numbers. According to the Federal Reserve's economic data, food away from home, which is the category that includes fast food, this rose roughly 28.5% over the last 5 years. But general overall inflation rose only 24%. Now, at a first glance, these price hikes might seem like a logical reaction to the rising costs of inflation. But let's dig a bit deeper. While the cost of doing business has increased, profit margins at many major chains have held steady or even grown. Take McDonald's, for instance. Despite facing higher expenses, their operating margins climbed to nearly 46% in 2023, up from around 41% in 2019. Now, that's not just covering costs, that's thriving. And if you don't think operating margin is the best indicator to decide this, let's look at their net profit margin. It's gone up from 28% right before the pandemic hit, all the way up to over 33% in 2024. Now, this has led McDonald's to begin to take some drastic measures to try to convince customers they not only aren't being greedy, but also that they still can provide value with their menu. But more on that in a moment. This pattern isn't unique to McDonald's, though. Chipotle has reported record revenues fueled by menu price increases of nearly 15% over the last 2 years. In fact, during the making of this video, they just announced another 2% price increase to their menu.
Now, Chipotle stay taxing. Chipotle stays taxing. It's like Chipotle and Qdoba. They're both solid, little burrito places. But Chipotle, I feel like they tax for the amount of food they give you. Like, you're spending a decent amount of money, and sometimes those portions might be a little small. That's all I gotta say. But like I'm paying a little bit of money, paying a little chunk of change for the little portion I'm getting. Yeah, it's healthy, but I don't know. Maybe the employees are the ones who are skimping out on me.
Which brings the total number of price hikes to 7 times since 2021. And Chipotle technically isn't fast food and is more in the category of fast casual dining, but they still are a part of that food away from home stat that I provided from the Federal Reserve. And so we can still learn a lot about their recent financial performance over the years. Chipotle's net margin is higher now than ever before and has been steadily climbing since the pandemic. However, the margins did tank before the pandemic due to foodborne illness issues the company was facing. But if we also look at their revenue and net income, that has also been rising steadily since the last quarter of 2020. And here's the kicker. Chipotle's former CEO, Brian Niccol, earned over $17 million in 2022 and over $22 million in 2023, including significant.
Hey, I need to get into that. I guess that's why the prices went up. Hey, they were like, you know what? I need another yacht. Need to go on vacation. You know what I'm saying? We need another house. Let's go ahead and raise the prices up a little bit. Go ahead and raise the prices up. Let's see if the customer base drops. If it does, then we might offer a little discounts, and then the discounts accidentally stick, or we say that there's a supply demand, something like that. That's issues with getting the steak and the beef, and or say it's because people were getting too big of portions or something, and that you need to recoup the cost, and then they can just keep it that way. People forget. I don't know, man. Looked like he was going. I need a yacht route though, but hey, I don't blame him. If I could, let's say if I can do a little 1-2% here and there on the prices, saying give me a little extra little bonus at the end of the year. Hey, by all means.
Significant bonuses tied to the company's profitability. This is over 1,300 times the median pay
give a little
of a
bonus
Chipotle
here
worker.
And there.
Now, whether you think the CEO is worth 1,300 times the average worker or not, it's clear that they are making more money now than ever before.
Oh, yeah,
and Chipotle also just announced in July that they were authorizing a $400 million stock buyback program, essentially funneling excess cash back to shareholders instead of, reinvesting it into operations or finding out ways to keep prices stable. Additionally,
happy.
Yum Brands, which owns Taco,
is that we're gonna buy back our stocks. make our investors happy, so I think, well, I guess this is a good time to say investing is, in my opinion, good. I'm no financial advisor, but taking a little bit of your money and putting it away so that you can get something in the future, that is okay. If you haven't started, let's say, look into something like Acorns or Robinhood, great places. You can start investing with $1, especially with Robinhood. Robinhood, you got the fractional investing. Perfect. It's perfect. But only buy things that you're knowledgeable of. You know what I'm saying? Go watch Warren Buffett's documentary. He talks about what he did. He's like, he buys just things he likes or is into. So like me, I'm a gamer. A lot of my stuff is like Apple, Microsoft, Intel, Nvidia, AMD, stuff like that. Everything that making games. Anything involved with the Sony, all that. I'm trying to track my interest. And if they're not doing something that I like, goodbye. We'll put you on a sale. Fire sale. But hey, these fast food prices right here, man. They know what they're doing. None of it's cheap anymore, and none of it's getting any better. I realized that maybe a couple months ago, if you go to Cane's and you want actual crispy tenders and fries and none of that soggy mess, in my experience, I'd get soggy tenders and fries whenever I'd go. This ain't hitting. I had been nowadays. I asked them to get that extra crispy or crispy. Hey, perfection. It's actually good to go. Fries and the tenders on the crispy. They should have had that as an option to ask, they should have been making it that way in the beginning. But hey, who knows? Who knows why they make the decisions that they make?
Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut instituted price hikes in 2023 and cited that it was a last resort option, while later that year clocking in a 21% increase in total revenue over its pre-pandemic earnings. Now, since then, executives at the company have authorized a $2 billion share repurchase program, returning $678 million to its shareholders. Now, there's no secret here that greater amounts of capital are being redirected to corporate
stock market go burr.
Level costs, such as C-level executive compensation. Now, critics argue that inflation has become a convenient excuse for these price hikes. Yes, labor and ingredient costs are up, but why are executive salaries soaring at the same time? Why are companies increasing ad budgets and launching multi-million-dollar stock buybacks while citing higher costs as the reason for passing price increases on?
They are buying back stock so they're raising money so that they can have more profit. So that way, they're increasing the prices of the food so they get more money so they can buy back more stocks so that the stock price goes up, because there are going to be less shares on the market, so that if anything does happen, they can either sell back those shares to get more money from the investors, or I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. They're increasing the prices of the food so they can get more money to buy more shares, so they have more control of their company, the investors. Because if the investors have enough of the shares, whenever they buy and sell, depending on the weight of how everything is distributed, you would think that it could cause the price to go down more. But if they own a majority of the shares that are in fluctuation, then it would be locked, or it'd be artificially locked at a specific price, maybe. I don't know. Someone who knows more about stocks, teach me. Put stuff in the comment below. Why do you think they are increasing the price and buying back shares
onto consumers? Now, in some cases, the numbers suggest these companies are taking advantage of inflationary pressures to pad their profits. In fact, a recent analysis from the Economic Policy Institute found that corporate profits accounted for over 40% of price increases across several industries during the pandemic recovery period. Now, while fast food isn't singled out in this analysis, it does seem to fit into this broader trend. This narrative has led to a huge disconnect from corporations to their consumers,
You don't say.
particularly around their pricing and the value propositions they offer. But the interesting thing here is some of these companies are faring much better than others. Chipotle, for example, is continuing to grow in spite of their price hikes, and they also historically haven't offered any sort of value meal. While restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, and others are all trying to entice customers by trying to add more value deals to their menus. But of course, fast food chains have
We
their
want the
side of the story
value.
too. They argued that these price hikes are a necessity, not some evil choice. And their executives have pointed to some real pressures: rising wages, volatile supply chains, and of course inflation, as reasons why fast food just isn't as cheap as it used to be. Now, back in May of 2024, social media posts about an $18 Big Mac meal went so viral that McDonald's actually had to begin a
$18?
campaign trying to debunk some of the myths that were being spread about their prices. Remember this graph from earlier? Yeah, well, McDonald's disagrees with a lot of it. The nuance behind this is that while data on its own is rather objective, the way in which data can be presented often is very subjective, including this video here. However, in their blog post,
Not wrong. It is his opinion on how everything is kind of going on. Just because with enough data, you could make anything look like anything.
McDonald's cited bits of information from the article labeling them as myths, like, quote, McDonald's raised prices at a rate nearly double the national rate of inflation. And over in their facts section, trying to combat this, they mentioned that over the last 5 years, prices have increased around 40% due to higher input costs such as salaries, food, and paper products. And while that may be very well true, the article cites McDonald's menu prices have doubled 100% since 2014 across popular items, the highest of any chain we analyzed. But okay, let's just assume McDonald's was confused on this. And
yeah, I want to know what the real findings are. Because if they're saying one thing, and if McDonald's is saying one thing, that's a myth, but these people are like, oh, it's 100%, or it's... Because they're saying, McDonald's is saying that overall prices have increased 40%, so that way they've increased their prices the same 40% to match inflation and, I guess, cost of living. It'd be interesting to see what's actually going on here.
They cited from 2019 on as opposed to what the article says, which is 2014. So what about another myth? Well, once again, McDonald's cites the article quoting, McDonald's medium fries have increased by 138% since 2019. But McDonald's claims the truth is the average price of a medium fry in 2019 was $2.29, and now in 2024, the average price is $3.29. Okay, well, the article actually says that the 138% increase is from 2014 to 2024, not 2019.
Well, hold on. Let's look at these prices. And 24. Oh my gosh! I was sitting here like, I knew it, man. Back in the day, a McDouble sandwich, it was on the dollar menu. It was like $1.19, fry $1.59, quarter pounder $5, Oreo McFlurry $2.39. I was sitting here like 10-piece McNugget is $5.99, now $10.99. But I think, hold on, I feel like this is even recent, because I feel like last year I was trying to see if hold on, maybe it was 6-piece. I think I did 2 6-piece nuggets, and it was close to this, but still, man, 10-piece nugget in 2014, so 10 years, well, a little over 10 years ago, was $5.99. Holy, $5. You're paying for 2 10-piece nuggets 10 years ago. Almost crazy. You could have gotten 10 years ago. You could have gotten a 10-piece nugget. You could have got medium drink and a medium fry and a McDouble sandwich separate. Could be doing bad math. That's crazy. That there's no value in these meals anymore.
Now, I could go on, but I think you're starting to get the point. Okay,
Yeah.
but there are some who argue that rising wages are really the one to blame for high menu prices, claiming this trend of increased minimum wage could lead to job losses and widespread restaurant closures.
Hey, they're gonna start saving money one way or another. They can't get people in there now. They're gonna be like AI. As soon as the AI robots come in, boy, oh boy, we want prices to go down. We want prices to go down as soon as they get the mechanical fry and burger flipper. It is over. McDonald's burgers is going way down, and so is the employment rate. Ooh. And for probably most of fast food restaurants. Unless like you really want to go to one with that like human interaction, and depending on how things are, people are really, extremely money hungry. We may be in for a surprise,
However, the evidence suggests otherwise. Economists at the Economic Policy Institute have extensively researched this issue and found that higher wages would likely have the opposite effect, modestly stimulating consumer demand, boosting business activity, and creating job growth. Okay.
If they paid people more at fast food restaurants, we would probably have better, hey, I don't know if prices would go up. I don't know what would happen, but I would hope they would hire better people at these establishments so that they will get our orders right. Because when you don't treat your workers right and they don't want to be there, they're going to do the job like they don't want to be there. And then they're going to, not satisfy the customer because they could honestly care less what the customer has to think, because they don't think anyone cares about them at that establishment. Definitely not the customer. But if you treat the customer well, with the employee well, I think it'd be better for everybody, because they're not going to be stressed out. They won't bring their stress to the workplace, stress us all out when I'm trying to get my chicken nuggets, my dip, my fries, and my drink. You know what I'm saying? I just want to eat. It's all your boy wants to do. I don't want cold food. I don't want cold food because they made it all, wanted a meme, and everything's gross. I want people who are locked in and want to be there. I don't know about y'all.
Okay, but what about fast food prices? Are they rising because of higher wages? Well, yes, but not entirely for the reasons you might think. Price increases in the fast food industry are part of a long-standing trend, not a sudden phenomenon caused by wage hikes. Because while the consumer price index for all items rose by 3.2% between April 2022 and April 2023, fast food prices surged 5.2%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Meanwhile, the cost of groceries increased by only 1% during that time. But that was then, and this is now, and fast food has been getting desperate over the last year. McDonald's has had to really try to entice customers with their nationwide $5 value meal, and many competitors have followed suit. Burger King offered their $5 meal. Wendy's did a $4 meal deal.
But Wendy's had a $5 biggie bag for a minute, though. They've done have this way before the pandemic. It was like they just changed what was on the menu, and I don't know. I feel like Wendy's was already had the value meal. The only thing that was different was but yeah, Wendy's and Taco Bell always had like a craving meal. It was just McDonald's never did, just because they had the dollar menu, and very rarely could anyone compete with that dollar menu.
And Taco Bell launched a $3 value deal, all in an attempt to increase traffic to their stores. Now, it's clear they have a real problem on their hands, not only in terms of general sentiment around their value propositions, but also in regards to pricing. But fast food companies also have to reckon with fast casual offerings eating away at their market share. Chipotle, Cava, and Sweetgreen have all reported a much different outlook on this matter. And while yes, they typically attract a higher income cohort, it's not only them that are buying these products. Cava, the Mediterranean chain, only raised prices 12% from 2019 to 2023. And as a result, they reported increases to their top and bottom lines. Now, of course, they have a much smaller footprint than McDonald's, but when that Big Mac is contesting the prices of some of these fast casual offerings, it seems like an inevitable shift is bound to occur here. And even casual sit-down restaurants like Applebee's and Chili's are getting involved into this value war. Chili's 3 for Me meal deal for $10.99 has created a resurgence in traffic to their restaurants,
They're what? Hold up.
It seems like an inevitable shift is bound to occur here. And even casual sit-down restaurants like Applebee's and Chili's are getting involved into this value war. Chili's 3 for Me meal deal for $10.99 has created a resurgence in traffic to their restaurants, resulting in their foot traffic soaring 33%, which capped off 6 straight months of increases. So are the higher prices just the costs of doing business? I don't see how one could come to that conclusion with how much profits have increased over the last 5 years for most of these chains. To me, this does seem like some good old-fashioned corporate greed, masked in layers of manipulation and excuses.
They're just trying
And
to
now
double
for
dip.
fast food places like McDonald's, Burger King, and others, customers not only have to battle with higher prices, but also with the lack of convenience and quality of the food itself. Because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, infinite growth is the goal. And the fiduciary duty to shareholders comes before customers, employees, suppliers, or vendors. But it is really interesting to see how some companies simply choose to operate differently while still achieving success. If you want to learn about a prime example, I covered the story of Costco and the interesting approach they've taken to capitalism. You can learn about it here. Thanks so much for watching.
All right, y'all. That was established context. Give them a subscribe and a like. This was why fast food is panicking over. Ooh, we went to the next video. Sorry. That is why fast food is panicking. There's been a lot of talk. This is why fast food is panicking over higher prices right now. Again, if you like these reacts, give your boy a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.